As you go down the list of things that you need to apply to CRNA school, one of those might be a personal statement. It might be multiple personal statements, and nobody likes writing personal statements. Maybe except for me. I don't know, I'd rather write a paper than take a test any day. But I get a lot of questions about writing the personal statement and where to start, what to do. Do I use a quote? Do I use a metaphor? Like, you're lost. You have no idea what to do, where to start, and how to make your personal statement stand out from other personal statements. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the personal statement, kind of give you a couple of quotes from my personal statement, just to kind of guide you through the process of writing your own. Want to talk about some common mistakes, and these might seem like super basic, like why would anybody do that, but it happens. But number one, answer the question. I review some personal statements and I read them, and they're awesome personal statements, but at the end of it I'm like, you didn't answer the question. Look at what they're asking. They might ask you about your goals, your accomplishments, your strengths, and generally it always ties back to anesthesia and how that'll make you a good student, or how that has made you want to pursue anesthesia, to become a CRNA. So generally when they ask you those things, you have to make sure that you're tying it back to the question. In addition to that, sometimes the question doesn't ask you why do you want to become a CRNA. They might ask you some different things about why did you choose this school. While it's always important to include why you want to become a CRNA in those statements, sometimes you don't want to give them an essay that just talks about why you want to become a CRNA while forgetting the next part of the question. So always read the question and make sure you know what they're asking, and then answer what they're asking. You really want to stick to the limit. If it says 500 words, give them 500 words. Don't give them 600 words, 650 words, 700 words, and hope for the best, because some of them, they do count them. Cut it. Your essay way too long. You need to cut it. But if you need clarifications, don't be afraid to ask for clarification, because you don't want your application tossed out or your essay tossed out because you didn't follow the directions, but you were confused as to what you needed to do. You need to be original. This essay is about you and why you want to become a CRNA, not anybody else. Stay away from the cliches. Since I was 5 years old, I've always wanted to be a CRNA. Okay, cool. They've heard that time and time again. Same thing with quotes. I know that there are great quotes out there, but we want to hear what you have to say about your experiences, not what someone else has to say. You also want to make sure that you have a good opening sentence. You want to grab that reader's attention. They probably have been reading essays all day long, and you want your essay to jump out to them. You don't want to be so, I don't know what the word is. You don't gotta be too much, but make it interesting. Make them want to read your essay. Going back to the same type of thing you would do for your resume, you don't want to just describe what you have done. Time and time again, people will say, I have a lot of experiences doing being an ICU nurse. I've seen a lot, I've done a lot. I'm a good leader, I have good teamwork skills, I have good communication skills. But if you don't demonstrate those to them, how do they know you are actually good at those things? Because anybody can list those things out. But if you've never actually done them or are able to show them, does it matter? Like, come on now, just like how if you haven't documented, it's not done. Like, if you don't describe it, you haven't done it, basically. So to start writing your personal statement, you want to look at the question. Figure out what they are asking. If they're asking for 3 personal attributes that, I don't know, makes you a good candidate, write down all of the attributes that you have. Get your resume out, have those things side by side, and write down bullet points of those things. Now, the next thing you're going to do is choose the best things that relate to anesthesia and critical thinking and ICU experience, because you want to tie all those things together. They're not looking for someone who is like good at knitting or something. They want to find someone that's good at their ICU position, has that knowledge base, able to critically think, able to write an essay that shows those things. So you want to pick and choose those things that are specific enough that you are able to really relate them to anesthesia. In addition to that, you want to write down your experiences, any shadowing that you have done, any workshops that you have done, any specific training that you have done that has prepared you for this process to become a CRNA. And while you might think, well, I'm not going to write down all, I'm not going to talk about my shadowing, or I'm not going to talk about this because other people have done it. But even though someone else has done shadowing, someone else has gone to diversity CRNA, someone else has done those things, gotten their CCRN, what they've taken from those things is going to be unique to every single person. So remember that. You're looking for those things that are unique to you. You want to show your involvement, you want to show what you've learned, and then you want to show how that relates to anesthesia. Think about all the reasons why you want to become a CRNA. Think about not being able to work for 2 to 3 years. Think about studying all day long. Think about clinical. Think about being pimped in clinical. Think about all those things. Think about, oh, I could probably make a decent amount as a traveling nurse. Like, think about those things and figure out why you actually want to go through this. Go through this rigorous, program to become a CRNA, and that's when your passions are going to come out. And you want to put those passions on paper, because it takes more than just, oh, that looks cool, I want to do that to become a CRNA. It really does. That's what the admissions committee is looking for. Someone that's going to be dedicated and able to put in the time and the effort and the work and the stress and the tears to do this, because it's an important job and we do a good job at it. But I am going to read a couple of things and show you how you can integrate your attributes throughout the essay in a non-kindergarten way. So, being in a leadership role is not always easy, but integrity, communication, and flexibility are key qualities that I have developed as a professional. This is the next sentence of the next paragraph. I value respecting my patients through the virtue of truthfulness and humbly taking responsibility for my actions. So, one of the key qualities that I talked about was integrity. The definition for that is like being true to yourself. So instead of saying, I value integrity by ... I use that definition to start off that sentence to kind of pull things out of what I had said previously to start off that paragraph right. At the end of that paragraph, I say, the consistent alignment of my ethical standards with words and actions affects every aspect of being a leader and also allows me to quickly build trust with patients, families, and coworkers. And then the next paragraph, that first sentence is, furthermore, flexibility is another quality that has contributed to my success in leadership roles. So I talk about doing this because a lot of people want to say, first, I show flexibility, or second, I show truthfulness, third, I show communication. And you kind of don't want to do that because that's the easy way of doing it. Try to weave those concepts and those qualities in your paper without directly saying it, and it lets your statement read fluidly. Yeah, fluidly. It flows a lot better instead of like breaking out like first, second, another thing. You know what I mean? I don't know why I made that voice. I also included my shadowing experience. I also included a story about when I was just finishing my orientation and my patient coded on me and we had to do ECMO and a balloon pump at the bedside. That was probably the hardest part for me, is telling stories, because you don't want to tell your story too long. You want to make sure that it's succinct and concise while still including all of what you need to include to get your point across. So I kind of tied my shadowing experience to the same emotions that I felt when I was in the CVICU, and that is displaying my passion for those things, for that criticalness, for that adrenaline rush that I felt when I was shadowing. So you kind of want to like bring everything together, tie things together. You just don't want to stop at, I really enjoyed the CVICU because of this, that, and that, and that. Okay, cool. But how can you tie that back to anesthesia? So I use my shadowing experience to tie that into me being a CVICU nurse and the things that I saw on a day-to-day basis. My last paragraph. or last sentence or so. I desire to be represented by an organization that advocates for patient safety, quality, diversity, I got that out of the mission statement, and provides education for the public to recognize the value of CRNAs. I look forward to utilizing my strongest nursing proficiencies to learn to safely administer anesthesia to my patients. I believe that with my integrity, flexibility, and communication skills, I am well prepared to take on the new challenges and the responsibilities that lie ahead. So if you haven't been listening, notice how I started off with those couple of things: integrity, flexibility, and communication, weave them throughout my essay, and then end it with those to tie it all together. So that's it. I think the most difficult part of the essay is the organization. If you don't have it properly organized, then you're going to have a lot of difficulties writing your essay. It might seem super basic to do an outline, but do an outline. When I first wrote my essay, I just wrote it, just started writing, and I didn't have a main focus. It was kind of scatterbrained, kind of all over the place, and then I was trying to like put things together after the fact, and then I just scratched it and started all over and rewrote the whole entire thing. I had a few people look at my essay. My mom, she's a teacher. I had a student nurse anesthetist look at my essay as well. But you want to make sure you get a good, a group of people to look at your essay, just to make sure there's no lasting grammar or spelling errors or things like that, because although they kind of stick out at a sore thumb to someone else, they might not stick out to you. That being said, when you are writing your personal statement and you are going to proofread it for the first time, take a break, like a day, if you have the time. Because if you're proofreading it that same night over and over again, reading those same things, your brain is going to skip over those mistakes and you're not going to catch them. So make sure that you're proofreading it, have other people look at it. Reading it out loud definitely helps. Make that outline and pick out those goals and those qualities that are able to be related to anesthesia the most, so that you can utilize them. They're looking for you, they're looking for your personal qualities, they're looking for your experiences that are unique to you. So I think that's all I have to say about the personal statement. It's really not that bad. It's just all about organizing your thoughts and being able to talk about those things and just bring it all together. So if you have any questions about my personal statement or writing your own personal statement, please comment below. Follow me on Instagram at IamNurseNell, and I thank you all for watching. We're done. Alright, now I'm off to Miami.